What if I told you the world's financial system was never built to make you wealthy, but to use you? What if the rules that shape your savings, your debts, your retirement, and even the price of your groceries were engineered by people who never had your interests in mind? And what if, without realizing it, you've been playing a game that you were destined to lose from the moment you were born? To understand how global finance became a game designed for your loss, we have to go back to a moment. Almost nobody talks about the moment when debt quietly replaced money. In the early 20th century, governments and powerful bankers were confronted with a dangerous but convenient idea. What if money didn't need to be backed by anything real? Not gold or silver, just promises. This wasn't one person's decision. It was a chain reaction shaped by wars, crises, and people who believed they could engineer a perfect financial machine. Names like John Maynard Keynes, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and later Richard Nixon show up as heroes or villains, depending on who you ask. But all of them stood on the path that led the world toward a new kind of money created from thin air. It began with a quiet shift during the world wars. Nations were drowning in debt. They issued more currency than they had gold to support because they had no choice. It was the only way to finance their armies and rebuild their economies. This solved the immediate crisis, but it created a long-term trap. Once governments discovered they could print more promises than they had gold, they became addicted to the power. By 1944, world leaders attempted to restore order through the Bretton Woods Agreement, making the US dollar the global anchor, supposedly backed by gold. Other currencies were tied to it. On the surface, it looked stable, but underneath, the world had already stepped onto a slippery slope. Every nation wanted growth, and the fastest path to growth was simple. Borrow more, print more, inflate more, and hope no one noticed. By the late 1960s, countries began demanding their gold back from the United States, revealing that the US had printed far more dollars than it had gold reserves. In 1971, Richard Nixon made the decision that changed everything. He cut the link between the dollar and gold entirely. Money no longer needed to be backed by anything real. It became an idea backed only by trust and government decree. That's when the game truly exploded. Banks could now lend money that didn't exist. Governments could print money at will. Corporations could expand using borrowed funds instead of profits. Debt became the backbone of the global economy, and ordinary citizens became its fuel. From this point forward, your labor, your savings, your taxes, all of it, became necessary to support an ever-growing mountain of global debt. The economy was no longer about prosperity. It became about one rule: growth at any cost, even if the people d'integro with Italiano. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, the system had transformed into something more dangerous. Debt wasn't just a tool anymore, it became a commodity. Banks packaged it, sold it, bet on it. The financial system turned into a casino disguised as an economy. And then came 2008. The crash destroyed millions of jobs, wiped out savings, and pushed families into poverty. Homes were lost. Futures were shattered. But when the dust settled, something shocking happened. The system didn't collapse. Instead, governments printed even more money to rescue the same institutions that caused the disaster. The people who lost their homes were not bailed out, but the banks were. The message was simple: the game must continue, even if you lose everything. Since 2008, the consequences have only intensified. Trillions have been created out of thin air. Wealth inequality has surged 2 levels not seen in a century. Global debt has crossed an unbelievable $315 trillion, a figure so enormous it can never realistically be repaid. Your savings quietly lose value through inflation. Housing becomes unattainable. Markets move not because of productivity, but because of liquidity injections. Every time the system shakes, governments pump in more money, creating the next crisis in the process. It's a loop with no end, a game designed to keep the players trapped. And history is repeating itself right now. Central banks are printing at historic levels. Banks collapse and get rescued. Currencies swing wildly. Ordinary people work harder yet feel poorer. The data is alarming. 64% of people worldwide now live paycheck to paycheck. The top 1% owns more wealth than the bottom 99% combined, and every major currency has lost 90 to 99% of its purchasing power since the 1970s. This is not a coincidence. This is the blueprint of the system. So what can we learn from all of this? First, the financial system rewards debt, not savings. It only grows when people and governments borrow more. Second, inflation is not a bug, it's a feature. It slowly erodes your wealth without anyone needing to take it directly. And third, you are not playing against the system, you are playing inside it. And the rules were written long before you arrived. A major shift is coming. Whether it's a new digital currency, a global debt reset, or a redesigned monetary order, the future will not look like the past. And those who don't understand the history will suffer the consequences of its next chapter. If this opened your eyes, make sure you like the video, subscribe for more deep financial breakdowns, and share it with someone who still believes the system is designed to help them, because understanding the game is the first step to escaping it.